1 out of 5 stars. The mountains were obstructing the view of the sunset. Super disappointing. And that's the park's problem. How? 1 out of 5 stars, caught my husband there with another person after lying about where he was to go. So you give the business a 1-star review? Really sounds like a personal issue and not a business one. Seems a little unfair to us here at Muchachos, doesn't it? 1 out of 5 stars, children under 5 are unable to ride camels. Not actually advertised anywhere before you arrive. Very disappointing. Honestly, wouldn't have gone if I'd known my daughter couldn't ride. And let's just take a look at this Google result. Tour information. Children must be 5 years and older to ride a camel. Wow, it's almost like it's almost like if you do research before you dive into something, you'll be better equipped and you'll know and you won't waste your time. 1 out of 5 circles. 4DX is awful. Went to Cineworld 4DX to see Avatar. Left after 40 minutes. Hard to comment on the movie as it was ruined by being constantly assaulted by my cinema seat. It erratically jolts and nudges you. When it's not doing that, it blows air and water in your face. To me, the appeal of cinema is the some escapism, to drift off into another place. That's impossible with 4DX. Avoid. I have not tried a 4DX showing because unless I've seen the movie before. You know, if they're showing Transformers in 4DX, one I've seen, one of the older ones, I'd watch it, sure. I'm gonna smell like oil and rust and metal and, I don't know, not a lot of blood, I guess, but dirt, I don't know, get that shot into my face while I'm watching robots beat the shit out of each other? I don't know. Right here, though, what is 4DX? It describes it. It tells you exactly what you're in for. I don't know what you were expecting, really. Arrived without armrests. 1 out of 5 stars. The sofa was shipped without armrests. I called Target customer service and they gave me the phone number of the manufacturer. I called and their voicemail is full. No surprise. Additionally, it was delivered a day late in a snowstorm and left on the side of the road. The lazy drivers from FedEx would not carry it to my door. I will put a hold on my payment and use the sofa for firewood. Target is too busy being woke to care about providing customer service. Maybe if I was buying a bikini with extra space to tuck my male member, they would be responsive. These people who scream around the word woke, literally, they cannot stop thinking about trans people or anyone in the LGBT. Like, he's talking about a f***ing couch. Oh, I got my couch got delivered and it was late and it didn't come with my armrest. Also, I hate trans people. Like, you are incapable of getting them out of your head. Please grow up. Please do some self-reflection. 1 out of 5 stars. I drove 40 minutes from Bountiful this evening to try the brisket. I arrived at 7 p.m. on Saturday night. They didn't have any brisket or pulled pork. They were out of over half the menu items. I'm from Texas and I have lived in Utah for 5 months. I have yet to have good barbecue. This is now 4 different barbecue restaurants that I wanted to try their brisket and they were all out of brisket. I don't get it. Utah sucks for barbecue. Super lame. Never in my 56 years of living in Texas I went to eat brisket and they were out. Unbelievable. We got this 1-star review from a fellow Texan who drove 40 minutes from Bountiful, walked in at 7 p.m. on a Saturday, and we were out of brisket and pulled pork. He was hot about it. Quote, never in my 56 years of living in Texas have I gone to eat brisket and they were out. Look, we respect the passion, but we gotta say, if you've been to Franklin, Snow's, or any real Texas joint, then you know when the barbecue is gone, it's gone. We're not a chain. We're not microwaving leftovers. We cook it fresh each morning, and when it sells out, that's it. That's how authentic barbecue works. To the real Texan who left this review, we want to feed you, on us, but there's one catch. You gotta show up before we sell out. That's the deal. That's barbecue. That's Texas. Hey, they said we want to feed you on us. That means if that guy makes the drive, before they run out, he's got barbecue. I think that's a very generous offer from Steve's Black Sabbath Barbecue. Also, holy shit, I did not read the title of that name until just now. That's awesome. Be prepared to be injured. 3 out of 5 circles. The GPS took us to a chapel. The Mammoth Hotel didn't provide an address, so just a P.O. box, and they said that they cannot fix the GPS nor their stationery, so guests have an address. We read the TripAdvisor reviews of the Wild Cave Tour, but didn't realize this tour would be so demanding of strange body contortions. My husband has a fused spine, so crouched walking hurt him terribly. I hated this long drag we made. Did you read drag? It's less than a crawl because there's not enough room to use your knees, so you only have your arms to drag yourself through sharp rocks, breathing dust for 100 yards. This is not what I thought we were going to be doing. I thought walk 5.5 miles, but log rolls, poop shoots, and a lot of crawling, scrambling, climbing made this an endurance tour I didn't appreciate. My arms were cut up, my husband had terrible purple bruises and bruised ribs, and the site/caves were not lovely. The stupid governmental sequester meant the Snowball, quote, restaurant, where we could purchase a lunch while on this hike, was closed. Man, if only there was a way to know what you were in for. 1 out of 5 stars. Had a horrible experience today in store with the checkout person named Dom. We shop here weekly, all of our families as well. I went in today with me and my 2 kids to buy a whole bunch of skateboarding stuff to pass out for charity. There was a cooler there that we wanted to buy and we have bought in the past. This time there was no price tag. He had another cashier named Melissa come over and she made up the price of $100 off the top of her head with no way of backing it up when in the past we bought that same cooler. It was $39.99. Melissa and Dom then called someone else that wasn't even working and was at home, and they said the price was still $100, with no way of actually showing the true price or with no SKU numbers. They were super rude about it, so we put the 2 carts full of stuff we had back, and I asked for the manager's name and number, etc., and theirs as well. He said he's just a cashier and just ignored me and my kids like we weren't there and kept checking other customers while cussing under his breath. I'm very surprised that he works there with the anger issues he has and how aggressive he got while cussing to customers with kids. Like I said, we come here all the time and never had a problem, but today was very horrible experience with Dom and Melissa, unfortunately. Also, all the skateboarding stuff that we were gonna pass out for charity we put back because of this situation. What a fucking crybaby. And I know that stuff sells fast, so we won't be able to get none of that stuff back to pass it out for kids that could use it to keep them out of trouble and occupied at the skate parks. Fuck this customer. Okay, so here is what happened. This customer wanted to buy a cooler. He said he bought at another of our stores for $14.99. He had scratched off the price stickers. Let me tell you, the store manager had put them there that morning. We have never had these coolers before. I noticed the coolers when I clocked in thinking, damn, I want to get one, till I saw the $100 price tag. So the customer brings it to the register with his other products. Keep in mind, he scratched the prices off the coolers. Tells us that they are $14.99. He was informed that they are $100. Proceeds to be real rude because we won't give him his made-up price. Gets all the names of the 2 people working, you know, retail forever short-staffed, then proceeded to post anywhere in our little town telling everyone a whole ass made-up story about the interaction. Why are customers so damn rude? Find this guy and roast him, please. Workers have almost quit because of their name being thrown out there when you can easily figure out where they are. Yeah, this person sounds like trash. 2 out of 5 stars. The ambience was nice, but the food was terrible and they had rats and roaches all over the place. I wouldn't recommend this place for a first date, maybe for a third date, but definitely not for a first. Hey babe, so, you know, we've been talking for a little bit now. I know we've gone on 2 dates and they've been great, but I want to take you to this really nice spot. I hear it's great for a third date. Do you like cockroaches? 1 out of 5 stars. Driver did not deliver my parcel today. The photo you have taken is not my address. The address on parcel said 58 blank Lane Bishop Auckland, but should have been 59 blank, so I do not know where you delivered because the number 58 does not exist. I am furious as this has happened again. Here's another dodgy 1-star review. The customer put the wrong address on their order, number 58 rather than number 59, so I delivered to the correct location according to where they ordered it to. They've even had the cheek to say that number 58 doesn't exist. It's about 500 yards up the road on the opposite side. Maybe try putting the correct address on your delivery next time. Yeah, that's a user error right there. 1 out of 5 stars. Being refused entry with a small dog in a bag that doesn't move. Deplorable. horrible when humans are 10 times more disgusting. Parisian places are getting better and better. 1 out of 5 stars, disaster. Okay, they didn't even, that's all, disaster. Let's get a response from Split Burger here. You are the only disaster that has ever visited this place, and too drunk and too lonely. You need to stop drinking so much alcohol and find a girlfriend. It's sad that a young man like you should be so drunk and lonely because of alcohol. I have a feeling this person has something against alcohol. 1 out of 5 stars. They turned away a 63-year-old man from Florida because I was unaware of their timed entry. Just stupid as far as I'm concerned. They could have let the one car they made turn around in it. It would not have ruined anybody's day. It sure made my experience memorable. 1 out of 5 stars. I was so embarrassed and very disappointed with the flowers that my brother-in-law Jim got. I asked for a mixed bouquet instead of a bright and cheerful flowers. I got pink roses and yellow tulips for a man. It was designed okay, but bright pink roses for a man. I am a master floral designer, have been for 40 years. Very embarrassing to someone that does flowers. This is a 66-year-old man that received these. It consisted of hot pink roses and yellow tulips. I do not consider this a mixed arrangement. This really upset me. I called back to let them know, not to get a refund, just to let them know how disappointed I was for a $55 arrangement and a $10 delivery charge. I will not use Hy-Vee florist again. Wish I could have given no stars. Have you ever heard of a comma? Oh, look at this little guy, a little frog man. 1 out of 5 stars. Not a good ending, literally. This book was fun and funny until you get frog butt flash at the end. It wasn't necessary, and I didn't like my 6-year-old got exposed to that. Won't be reading any more for fear of that happening again. Right, because your child is going to be traumatized if they see a butt. Something that they have. And it's a frog. It's not like a photo of a nude-ass man. It's like, it's a cartoon. You know how many times a butt shows up in SpongeBob? And I'm fine, I think. 1 out of 5 stars. Fragmented information and mostly in French. Only some in English. Lack of modern reflection on war and colonial history. Still nice things to see, though. My man, you are in France. Where's the English? 1 out of 5 stars. The lady that works there are so rude and they give you the worst horses to ride. And they put you in a line that you only walk with the horses, nothing more. I promise you after 10 minutes it gets so boring for you. Beside, the rude ladies keep on yelling at you for no reason. Response from the owner: we're sorry to hear that your experience did not meet your expectations. However, we would like to provide some clarification regarding your visit. They're pulling out the receipts. Our booking platform clearly states at the top, in red, that our rides are conducted at a walking pace only, making them suitable for beginners. This information is also explained again at check-in and before the ride begins, including a very clear safety briefing which states that passing, trotting, or riding side by side is not permitted for everyone's safety. During your ride, despite multiple polite reminders, you and your group attempted to ride side by side, and even urged the horses downhill at a faster pace. Actions which put other riders and our horses at risk. The horse you rode, Ryan, stumbled as a direct result of being pushed to trot downhill, which could have led to serious injury for both rider and horse. That could have been a bad lawsuit. You also applied excessive pressure on the horse's mouth, despite being advised that our horses are trained for gentle pleasure riding on a loose rein. It's important to note that good horsemanship includes both respect for the animals and awareness of group safety. Claiming to have owned horses in the past should come with an understanding of those responsibilities. Our team spoke firmly only after repeated safety violations. This was not due to rudeness, but because the actions taken by your group were dangerous. We make every effort to ensure all guests have a safe and enjoyable ride, but we will always prioritize the well-being of our horses and the safety of our guests. We're confident that we took the necessary steps to return everyone safely, and if that means receiving a 1-star review for upholding safety protocols, then so be it. 1 out of 5 stars. Ice cream is nice, however, my child took one lick and his ice cream fell off. Staff need better training in ice cream scooping. Also, after sales customer service could be a lot better as it happened at the counter. This is not, your kid must have literally pushed the ice cream off the cone. Like, oh man, they made my ice cream cone raw. It's ice cream on top of a cone. If you lick it too hard, it's going to fall off, you idiot. Hi Blank, thank you for taking the time to review us and for acknowledging that our ice cream is nice. We're always happy to hear when customers enjoy our product. We're sorry to hear about the unfortunate incident with your child's ice cream. While we'd love to have superpowers that could prevent gravity from working when ice cream meets pavement. We haven't quite mastered that yet. We do our best to serve properly scooped ice cream, but once it leaves our counter, physics tend to take over. We appreciate your feedback about our customer service and will certainly share it with our team. We always strive to provide the best experience possible within the realm of what's reasonably possible, though we do expect customers to handle the eating part of the transaction themselves. Thanks again for visiting us, and we hope you'll give us another chance. Perhaps get a tub to avoid disappointment. That is an amazing response. You told them what they needed to know, and you put a little smart ass in there, and I like that. That's a good response. 1 out of 5 stars. We're on vacation and drove 45 minutes to get there and hit traffic. So we're about 2 minutes late, and they told us that we were locked out and there was no way to let us in. There was only one other car in the parking lot we parked in, but they would let our group of 7 people in, most of which were kids. Nothing I said would change her mind. My kids were so disappointed. Thank you for your feedback. For safety reasons, people are not permitted to enter the planetarium show once it has begun. Visitors are seated at 2 p.m. and staff is informed when the operator begins the show. Planetarium shows are approximately 30 minutes. 1 out of 5 stars. I have a dairy allergy. I asked for whatever has no dairy and asked for that dairy issue to be noted on my order. Seeing the menu, I took 3 Imodium before dinner just in case the staff messed up. The staff messed up. The pesto on the chicken had Parmesan in it, which was enough to nullify my preparations. I'm extremely sensitive, as in if cheese touches my food, I have gastrointestinal distress. Will never go here again. Apparently, the staff has no idea what dairy is. Right, yeah, because no grown person knows what the fuck dairy is, right? Hey Scott, the pesto-looking sauce on your dish was a spring pea puree and is 100% dairy-free. While I'm sorry for any confusion you experienced, our staff goes through extensive training on ingredients and are always happy to clarify any concerns you may have. Take care. You know, half of these problems I feel like could literally be solved if they just took their food up to the front and asked, "Hey, excuse me, I just wanted to make sure this doesn't have dairy in it, right?" And they'd probably go, "Oh, no, that's the puree, that blah 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 blah." Cool. Problem solved. No bitching necessary, right? 1 out of 5 stars. Personalized pillow. I am very disappointed in your product. I am a Christian believer. You have God's scriptures all over the pillow, yet she is doing a yoga pose. I thought that she was praying, not doing a yoga pose. I respect your beliefs, but I will no longer be a customer, and I will alert all the people that I know personally. Okay. 1 out of 5 stars. Showed up 3 hours before they closed and said they had no more pizza. The may have wood, but the don't have pizza. Boo. 1-star review for a meal you never had? Glenn, do you make a habit of going online to leave bad reviews for every restaurant you show up at without having made a reservation, even when they are fully reserved by others who made the effort? Our slow-proofed Pain Levain dough is made at least 3 days in advance, and we can't just whip up a new batch if we sell out. 1 out of 5 stars. Weird to see Jews so overrepresented for no reason. Seriously, it was uncomfortable, especially knowing Jewish bankers sunk the Titanic so they could establish the Federal Reserve. I don't know where you got that one, but if they didn't sink the unsinkable ship with the very men who opposed their devious ideas, then they wouldn't be able to establish control of the American banking system. Titanic Museum attraction owner, hello! We frequently aim a spotlight at one particular group of passengers in order to share information that might otherwise be lost among all the other facts regarding the 2,208 people aboard Titanic. We always keep at least one display about each of these groups. The last spotlight was the children aboard, and the one before that was the Jewish people aboard the Titanic. So there is still a small amount of information displayed about them. Our museum was created to honor and tell the stories of the Titanic passengers, all Titanic passengers, without discrimination. Best wishes, Titanic crew. Themi should not have to pay money. 4 out of 5 stars. Well, this has got to be good, right? I put 4 because it is fun. Oh, okay. But you would have to pay money just to do any wallpapers and themes you want, and I think it's not fair to the people that can't afford or pay for it, especially if their parents say no. They should just stop with the you have pay this much a month and just let the kids get wallpapers and any themes they want for free so they can have more fun with all the cool wallpapers and themes they can have. And then this will be a 5, but for me this is a 4. Punctuation, you ever heard of it? I bought a couple of loaves of sourdough that had worms. Lucky for me, I only ate half a slice before I felt a worm crawling on my lip. When my wife told the owners the next day, they said, "That's not possible. No apology, no restitution, only denial. I will never forget the feeling of that worm on my lip. 0 out of 10. You're such a hater. Just because you don't like someone doesn't mean you should bash their business. We are very clean. We have taken all proper food handling courses, rented a commercial space that's been inspected multiple times. Everything is always fresh baked. We never serve anything over a day old. In no possible way would this have happened to you. It's sad you have to resort to trying to bring another business down to what? To make yours look better? Newsflash, it doesn't. I hope you succeed in whatever you decide to do with your life. Alright, and we got a collection of Yellowstone reviews. Here we go. 1 star. Do not come here. Me and my 4-year-old daughter were attacked by a park ranger for picking a flower. A mess. Almost like it's like a park, and it's to be looked at and respected and admired and not f***ed with. 1 out of 5 stars. Huge disappointment. Water bubbling out of the ground. Wow. It's a tourist trap for foreigners. Crowds, crowds, crowds. Ridiculous prices in the stores. Commercialized like crazy. No nature here. Rules, rules, rules. Have to buy a Yellowstone fishing license. Can't keep any fish. Have to have your boat inspected. No smoking. On and on. And construction everywhere. Waste of time and money. You can see better things outside the park. Wow, it's crazy. It's almost like they're a business and it's a popular place to go. Crowds? That's insane. I wouldn't have expected that. 1 out of 5 stars. Moments ago, I was walking towards Old Faithful when I watched a middle-aged, gray-haired park employee by herself take down the American flag at 1650 in front of the Indian exhibit building. She let it hit the ground. I asked her if she would like me to assist her in folding the flag properly. She flat out said, "No, absolutely not. The flag needs to be properly disposed of and replaced with a new one. This lady needs to be retrained as a park employee and trained on the American flag and what it stands for. RNBSN Eagle Scout." I remember when I was in Boy Scouts and we were taking down a flag or doing something with it, and it accidentally touched the ground for like half a second. Oh no! I remember myself. I was like, well, don't we have to like burn it or whatever? And I think one of the leaders were kind of just shook their head and were like, it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a deal, okay? 1 out of 5 stars. I understand that the park is closed due to devastating floodwaters. It's sad. However, I sent a message to find out the price to go in, which was $35 for 7 days. Now people can only go in on certain license plate numbers for certain days. That's great, at least some of the park is open for visiting. The reply I got was, "We have no control over that, talk to your congressman." I was asking for clarification so we could be better prepared to visit this summer. I have the messages saved if any administration party would like me to email them. 1 out of 5 stars. Too many people and rules. Roads are terrible and was a waste of time and money for park rangers to be telling you that you can only be among everyone and your dog has to be in the car basically. Lots of land to be seen that you can't get to because they say so. I feel like my taxes pay for every acre. I'm sorry you feel that way. 1 out of 5 stars. Yet another national treasure ruined by liberals. I understand the loads of foreign tourists all over the road, but what really ruined our experience was the intoxicated and aggressive college students hitchhiking in the park. There were groups of these ill-prepared hikers that were standing on the road, slowing down traffic and even stepping out in front of vehicles in an attempt to make them stop throughout the park. The later in the afternoon, the more aggressive these groups became. We passed one small group that was gathered in the road by driving around them in the oncoming lane. Some of them gave us the finger while others picked up rocks and threw them at our vehicle because we wouldn't stop. This is not at all what I expected to encounter in a national park, and I hope something is done about this. 1 out of 5 stars. I know. Who in their right mind gives a national park a 1-star review? Trust me, I'm not a jerk. Oh, okay. You know who is? Pretty much everybody I dealt with getting a backcountry permit. We arrived at the park at 3:59, bought our annual pass, and told the guy we needed a backcountry permit as well. He replied, "We stopped selling those at 4 p.m. To which I replied, "Yeah, it's just now 4. He answered, "We stopped selling those at 4 p.m., but the backcountry office is open until 4:30. Thanks for the understanding. Maybe not the best idea to have him be your first impression guy." Due to traffic, we arrived at the backcountry office at, you guessed it, 4:29, and we were told they were closed, to which I replied, "It's 4:29. While put off, she did acknowledge that I was indeed correct and told me I could ask one question. Seriously. So I asked if I could get a backcountry permit for that night, to which she replied, "Wait for it. We stopped selling those at 4 p.m. The next day, we dealt with the same general foolishness, but we did manage to get permits for the other 2 nights we were there. The park itself is nice, but they might want to update their info online." So wait, you got the permits and were fine for 2 nights? I don't know how many nights you were there in total, but 1 star? You couldn't like throw them a 3 or something? What a baby. 1 out of 5 stars. I'm gonna be careful here because I know a lot of stupid people like this park, but it's terrible. I was totally bored with its geyser, and all the walking around we did was most then pointless. Yeah, I get it. There are mountains and water and Russian winds that sound like a big bird fleeting in the forgotten silence of an ancient tribe. Just shut up about it. Nothing here, absolutely nothing caught my attention except for maybe when one family argued with another family about who got to sit at this bench overlooking a deep waterfall for 10 minutes. My eyes are fresh out of interest, girls and boys. Hashtag, so that's it. Don't go there because you'll be bored. It has no history, no enjoyment, just an erupting water flow that's probably faked at this point. No way that much water is flushing repeatedly, or else it's just a waste to the environment. It was so seriously just stupid. Don't go. It's like you literally earlier you described what there is to see there, which sounds awesome. But you were bored? I'm okay. Go watch YouTube, I guess, instead of actually getting to be at these places that some people will never get to see in their lives. 1 out of 5 stars. Park ranger tried intimidating me, kept telling me I was sleeping when I was clearly just parked, used the justification that my RV slide was out as I'd that's evidence of sleeping. They clearly prey on people with no legal training. It's 24/7 park. What business do they have bothering me if I'm legally parked at night? They just assume you're sleeping. It's BS. Well, dude, so your RV slide was out, implying you are staying for a while. Even if you're not sleeping, you're taking up a parking spot for people who want to be at the park. It's really, I feel insane having to explain this. 1 out of 5 stars. Smelled like sulfur. Ruined the experience. Would have been pretty if I was like my sister and couldn't smell anything. Okay. 1 out of 5 stars. I'd give it 5 stars, but the Wi-Fi was terrible. Most amazing park so far. Grand Canyon, here I could. Most amazing park so far, but 1 star because the Wi-Fi sucked. Why are you at the park? I'm not gonna be on my phone when I'm at a national park.